Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a powerful and wealthy king. He was known for his grand palace, golden throne, and countless riches. Yet despite all his wealth, he had one great flaw: his pride. The king believed that people's worth was determined by their power, wealth, or status, and he treated the poor as if they were invisible. One day, as he walked through the streets of his kingdom, he noticed a beggar sitting on the steps of the palace gates. The beggar was dressed in tattered clothes, his feet were bare, and he held out his hands, hoping for kindness from those who passed by. The king stopped and looked at the beggar with disgust. "Why do you sit at my palace gates like this?" he asked. The beggar looked up, his eyes calm and kind. "Because even a beggar deserves the warmth of the sun and the kindness of a king," he replied. The king laughed. "Kindness? Do you think you are worthy of kindness?" he scoffed. "A man like you has nothing. No power, no riches, nothing to offer the world." The beggar smiled. "Is that so?" he said. "Then tell me, your majesty, if a poor man like me is worth nothing, then what would you be without your crown?" The king was taken aback. He had never thought of himself without his riches, his throne, or his power. He frowned. "Without my crown, I would still be the king," he declared. The beggar nodded. "Then let us test that." Curious, the king agreed, and in front of the gathered crowd, the beggar removed his tattered cloak and held it out. "If you truly believe your worth is greater than mine, then trade clothes with me, just for a day," he challenged. The king hesitated, but he did not want to appear afraid. With a proud grin, he removed his royal robe and exchanged it for the beggar's worn-out cloak. "Now let us see what happens," the beggar said. Dressed in rags, the king stepped into the marketplace. But without his royal robe, no one bowed to him. No one greeted him with respect. Instead, people ignored him, or worse, looked down on him. When he tried to buy food, the shopkeepers refused to serve him. Meanwhile, the beggar, now dressed in royal robes, sat upon the throne. The guards obeyed his every command, and the people in the palace treated him with honor and respect. At the end of the day, the king returned, his pride shattered. He knelt before the beggar. "I was wrong," he admitted. "A crown does not make a man worthy, nor does poverty make a man worthless. A person's true value lies in their heart, their kindness, and their actions." The beggar smiled. "Then you have truly learned the lesson of honor and humility," he said. "Remember, your majesty, gold and power may fade, but the way we treat others will be remembered forever." From that day forward, the king ruled with kindness and humility. He no longer judged his people by their wealth or status, but by the goodness in their hearts. And as for the beggar, he disappeared into the streets, never asking for anything again. But his lesson remained in the heart of the king and the kingdom forever.